Say check, check.
Let them in. Where are they at?
Why does it beep?
Okay, this is nice.
Is yours not working, Jim?
Oh, yeah, no, it's. Okay, good evening, everyone. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Megan, will you call the roll?
Yes. Trustee Lautner?
Here.
Trustee Zara?
Here.
Trustee Sheehan?
Here.
Trustee Stewart?
Here.
Trustee Silva?
Here.
President DeCipio?
Here.
A quorum is present, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. We'll move on to the public participation. Oh, I'm sorry, we got to get Karen on. A motion to,
Yeah, I'd like to
Trustee
submit a
Lautner?
motion, Mr. President, I'd like to submit a motion to allow trustee council to attend the meeting by telephone. If she is unable to attend in person due to personal illness or disability. Second.
motion is second. Any discussion? Megan, call the roll. Oh,
You-
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome, trustee council.
Thank you, Mr. DeCipio. I appreciate everybody's efforts getting this done for me. Thank you all.
You're welcome. Okay, public participation. Mr. Roman, anything? Okay, moving on to consent agenda. Megan?
Thank you, Mr. President. The items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes. 1, Village Board meeting, March 28th, 2023. 2, Village Board special meeting, April 11th, 2023. 3, Village Board closed session meeting, April 11th, 2023. 4, Village Board work session, April 11th, 2023. B, action, DACRA municipal software applications. Motion to approve an agreement with DACRA for municipal software applications and to authorize the village manager to execute the necessary contract documents. C, action, Park Road Water Main Replacement, Construction Engineering. Motion to approve and authorize the village manager to execute agreements between the Village of LaGrange Park and Edwin Hancock Engineering for construction engineering services for at most $145,000 for the Park Road Water Replacement Project. D, action, resolution approving fiscal year 2023-24 pay plan. Motion to approve a resolution approving pay plan and schedule of authorized positions for fiscal year 2023-2024. E, action, accounts payable and payroll summary. Motion 1, to authorize the president and chairperson of the finance committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the check registers. And motion 2, to authorize the village treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and the next village board meeting, with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its next meeting.
Motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Sorry. Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Moving on to village manager's report. Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a couple of items to report on this evening. First of all, the village and the LaGrange Park Chamber of Commerce are inviting the community to join us for a ribbon cutting ceremony this Friday, April 28th at 2:30 p.m. Alphabet Learning is opening its newest location at 404 Shorewood Road in the Village Market, and we hope to see everyone there. Secondly, Phillips Flowers is celebrating its 100th year as a local family business. To recognize this milestone, the LaGrange Park Chamber of Commerce is hosting a business after-hours event on Thursday, May 4th from 5 to 7 at Phillips Flowers on LaGrange Road. Additionally, we had a very successful IML lobby day last week. And that is where members of the board and myself drove down to Springfield. And since the village president is a member of the IML board, I'll let the village president cover our successful trip down to Springfield. And lastly, I would just like to make note of, we recently learned that there will be construction on LaGrange Road, north of 31st Street. Thank you, Trustee Sheehan, for alerting us to those clues that construction was coming up. So we are waiting more confirmation about when the mill and overlay on LaGrange Road will occur, but we anticipate that based upon the updated Julie locates on the road, that the construction will be starting soon. And look for updates about this construction project on our construction updates on the village's website. And with that, that concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Julia. Before we move on, I'd like to just introduce Joe Caputo, who was recently recognized as a new trustee coming in May. Joe, congratulations. Tell your wife we got you now. Okay, moving on to Administration Committee. Trustee Council?
Thank you, President Ciccio. Administration report is as follows. Excuse me. Community Volunteer Day. The village's annual Community Volunteer Day will take place Saturday, May 13th from 9 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Volunteers will provide assistance to older adults in the community who need help with basic lawn care and spring cleaning. This day of service is a great opportunity for individuals, families, and organizations to support their neighbors and make a positive mark on the community. Visit the village's website to register for the event or to request volunteer assistance. Contact Maggie Jar, Assistant Village Manager, for more information. The second item is the Youth Commission vacancies. The village will be seeking 4 new members to serve on the Youth Commission during the next school year. This is a great opportunity for students in grades 7 through 12 to engage with their peers on community issues. Meetings are held once a month on Monday evenings from September through June. Visit the village's website to learn more and apply by June 30th. And that concludes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Council. Moving on to Building and Zoning Committee, Trustee Zora.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to report the building department activities for March of 2023. 60 building permits were issued in March compared to 101 in 2022. Estimated construction costs for the month were $905,430, which was less than 1/2 compared to March 2022. This can also be attributed to the higher number of permits issued last March. Permit fees were just over $18,000, which is about 56% of that compared to last March. 132 inspections were conducted this past March compared to 130 in 2022. 4 inspections were not approved. During the month, staff met with a contractor, homeowners, and lakeside consultants at a home on Stonegate to resolve concerns with the placement of a generator. The homeowner would like the village to adopt a zoning code text amendment so it could be reinstalled in the side yard. Their certificate of occupancy for the new Alphabet Learning Center at Village Market was issued. Staff met with Lakeside and the GC at Plymouth Place to discuss the sequence and scheduling for various inspections moving forward at the project. Staff participated in additional meetings with MEP supervisors of the project to discuss various portions of the project, the various state that the various buildings and site are in, make coordination of all the trades challenging. Staff met virtually with Aldi and CBRE representatives regarding construction logistics. Happier Now Cafe was having issues and frustrated with getting power from ComEd due to their power needs. The village contacted ComEd and this was resolved. Staff met with Demetrio Bill's Place to discuss the proposed new tenant at 1140 Maple. Work has been done without a permit for a new food equipment distribution business. Various meetings took place regarding logistics, processes, and code requirements for the ANS property. An interior demolition permit was issued, which included asbestos abatement. Staff placarded the garage at 846 North LaGrange Road as unsafe and dangerous, and code enforcement is working with the bank and their property maintenance contractor to get it demolished. A lone resident in a home at 1500 block of Newbury was found deceased. Due to code issues, staff placarded the house as unfit for occupancy. It had utilities disconnected and took actions to secure it. And that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Engineering Capital Projects Committee, Trustee Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. President. Proposals are being prepared to submit a geotechnical to submit to geotechnical consultants to take soil borings at important locations for the central area sewer separation project. Some sections of the proposed box culvert and the primary lift station will need to be between 15 and 20 feet deep. The sections will be used to analyze the support strength of the soil, determine the groundwater water elevation, detect the presence of non-special waste, and other parameters that are critical during construction. The village opened bids for the 22-23 sewer repair program on March 2nd. The low bidder was Unique Plumbing Company with a bid of $63,547. The contractor has started work and should complete the project by the end of April. The sewer sections identified for repair represent segments of sewers that need replacement. This is a yearly maintenance program to keep the sewers functioning at full capacity and good repair. Lastly, work has started on the potholing project by Hydro Excavation, Inc. They were given a list of 100 locations throughout the village to hydro excavate the water service in the parkway. Under the lead service line replacement program, a project was developed to help determine and confirm the water service line material at a number of residential locations. The information gathered will be part of the village's preliminary inventory of their lead water services to be reported to the to the Illinois EPA in April of 2023. And that concludes my report this evening.
Thank you,
Mr.
Trustee
President.
Stewart. Okay, moving on, Public Safety Committee, Trustee Silva.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a police department summary as follows. In addition, sorry. Thank you. I just want to say that my first meeting I read a lot. My last meeting I'm reading a lot too. The total numbers of crimes reported for the first 3 months of 2023 are slightly lower than last year, with 76 incidents reported this year compared to 86 in 2022. Traffic enforcement is at 546 total tickets through March of 23. Overall police activity is 3% higher to last year, with 1,129 total incidents reported in the month of March of 23, compared to 1,096 total incidents in the month of March of 22. Of those 1,129 total incidents, 70 were assists to the fire department, 328 were self-initiated building or park checks, 146 were traffic stops, and 59 were closed home checks. Department members attended 150.5 hours of training, along with the completion of required monthly online training, Lexipol, daily training bulletins, along with blood-borne pathogens and hazmat training. Numerous members of the department took part in the Special Olympics polar plunge and raised nearly $8,200 for this cause. The police department held a written test for eligible candidates at Village Hall. Unfortunately, only one candidate passed the written test and had accepted a job with another municipality. We have since reopened the application process. After 11 weeks being out of service, Squad 228 was finally repaired of its mechanical issues and put back into service. Staff met with management of the Hinsdale Humane Society regarding agreement for services. Once completed, it will be brought to the village board for discussion. Mark your calendars and do not miss out on the upcoming police department special events. Coffee with the chief and staff, Wednesday, April 26th from 9 to 10:30 a.m. at Panera Bread, located at 439 North Grange Road. Coffee will be provided. Come and speak with officers from the police department over a cup of coffee. Please follow the police department on our Facebook page at LaGrange Park Police Department, our Twitter account at LaGrange Park PD, and Instagram at LaGrange Park PD. A friendly reminder about securing one's personal property at all times. Please lock your vehicles and residences, especially during overnight hours. If you're going on vacation, please utilize the new online vacation watch portal, frontlinepss.com/LaGrange Park, or log on to the village website and access the portal under the police department page. If you do not have internet access, feel free to fill out a vacation watch card at the PD between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. That concludes the police department summary. This is the fire department summary. EMS incidents this month, 171. This compares to March 22, when there were 148 fire rescue incidents. This month, 44. This compares to March 22, when there were 36. After a lot of work put in by many personnel, our new engine 1221 was officially placed in service. Personnel will continue to train with it to get more proficient on its operation. The Foreign Fire Insurance Board met during the month. Of note was the approval of rapid intervention packs, new tools for Fire Station Number 1, and a partial boot allowance for personnel. Personnel provided a CPR class to employees of Webster Dental and the Montessori Children's Place, and also participated in the Ready Teddy open house. They also attended a Heart Fest event at Ogden Avenue School, providing CPR demonstrations and discussing symptoms of stroke, and the fire chief provided a presentation to Cub Scout Pack 66 regarding his role in government for one of the requirements for Arrow of Light. Ambulance 1214 crash repairs were completed and appears to have come out nice. After being thoroughly cleaned and stocked, it was placed back in service. Following village board approval, the order was placed for new SCBAs. FSCI, our fire code consultants, and the fire chief conducted the first set of hydrostatic pressure testing of sprinkler piping at the new construction at Plymouth Place at Building C, and all went well. Personnel participated in Andy's Frozen Custard ribbon cutting and Golden Scoop event. Mavis Hazmat team personnel participated BioWatch training instructed by FEMA. The fire chief participated in the Trident College Emergency Service Advisory Board meeting, which was attended by the Trident College president. This concludes my fire report. We have discussion. Sorry, we have an item for discussion and action. Surplus property motion to declare boardroom pews bench seating owned by the village of Grange Park, Illinois as surplus property and authorize staff to dispose of these items. The purpose is to designate old boardroom pews bench seating surplus. General background: the village boardroom just went through a renovation which included the installation of new carpet tiles included in the 23-34. Is that a typo? It's the 23-24 fiscal year is funding for new chairs and tables for the village boardroom. While staff was moving the approximate 47-year-old pews bench seating out of the boardroom for demolition, we noticed that several of the pews bench seating needed repair as they were not in good condition. In addition to the repairs needed, the pews bench seating are very heavy, which would cause indentations in the carpet, and they require two staff members to move one single pew. Staff is recommending that the village board approve the pews bench seating surplus and authorize their disposal. Staff recommends that the village board authorize disposal of the defective and damaged pews benches seating from the village boardroom. I would like to make a motion to declare boardroom pews bench seating owned by the village of Grange Park, Illinois as surplus property and authorize staff to dispose of these items.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion. Trustee Silva?
Well, seeing that we have a nice new boardroom and they're too heavy to move and all that, we don't want to ruin this new boardroom. I think we should just get rid of them.
Any other comments from any other board members? Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Continue, Trustee Silva.
Second item is a discussion action. Sorry, Julia, it's not opening. This is regarding the parking restriction signage / permit parking. General background: at the March 14th village board session, this matter was discussed and remanded back to the Traffic Safety and Engineering Committee for further discussion and recommendation. The Traffic Safety and Engineering Committee met on Wednesday, April 12th to discuss this issue. In attendance at the meeting were area residents Tim Sullivan, Don Vilm, along with Beth and Chuck Edwards. Upon the conclusion of the Traffic Safety and Engineering Committee's discussion on this matter, the committee voted to recommend the following. Add no parking 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. School days except by permit signage on all streets from Edgewood East to LaGrange Road and from Brewster North to Harding that currently do not have any restrictions. The no parking 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on school days permit parking, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. signage is to be placed on both sides any existing street that falls within this grid that does not currently have no parking anytime signs or signage with hourly restrictions in place. Those locations are as follow. Brainerd Avenue from Southern Village Limit to Harding Avenue, Stone Avenue from Richmond to Harding Avenue, Wyola Avenue from Richmond Avenue to Harding Avenue, Spring Avenue from Richmond Avenue to Harding Avenue, Kensington Avenue from Richmond Avenue to Harding Avenue, Catherine Avenue from Richmond Avenue to Harding Avenue, Ashland Avenue from Woodlawn to Harding, the cul-de-sac, Richmond Avenue from Park Road to Catherine Avenue, Woodlawn Avenue from Dover to LaGrange Road, and Oak Avenue from Park Road to LaGrange Road. Staff recommends the adoption of the attached ordinance adding to Title 8, Chapter 76 of the Village of LaGrange Park Municipal Code, providing for permit parking. I'd like to make a motion to approve an ordinance adding to Title 8, Chapter 76 of the Village of LaGrange Park Municipal Code, providing for permit parking.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion, trustee Silva?
I remember back at this meeting where we said that we would go based off the off the committees what they discussed, and it seemed that they come to an agreement on something. I think that I'm for this.
Any other comments from any board members? Trustee Wadner?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's been a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of thought process that's gone into this by a lot of people, not the least of which is the Traffic and Safety Committee and people on staff. So I think it's been well thought out. One question I do have is talk a little bit more about what is the permit? Is that a separate permit they'll have to go purchase, or is it just a village, or what that is, first of all?
So we're going to use the current village tag as the permit parking, and I have reached out to District 102 and any teacher that needs to park on the street, and particularly on Brewster Avenue. The school district is going to supply them with a D102 faculty parking placard for their vehicle.
Excellent. So it won't be a separate cost item for anyone. Have you had maybe just a couple comments and any feedback that you've had from the schools or residents, you know, with the proposed plan?
Just those that attended the meeting on the 12th.
Gotcha. I'm again very appreciative of all the work and effort and thought process that went into this. I know it was a lot, and you know, I generally like to follow the recommendations of the committees that put a lot of thought initially into this, and then to send it back and give it another swing. You know, it's not lost on us, I'm sure. So, you know, I'm certainly you know, on the side of supporting this and move forward, and hopefully it's going to make a big improvement for our residents and really create, you know, solve a lot of problems. So thanks for your efforts in that, to extend that to the committee.
Thanks, Trustee Wadner. Any other comments from the board?
Mr.
Council?
No, Mr. President, as long as the village is looking out for the safety of the residents, I think that's foremost and really, really important. And I'm glad to hear that District 102 is going to hand out placards to their staff so that it's less of a burden to the village as well. So thank you very much. I'm giving this full support.
Thank you, Trustee Council. Chief?
So one of the things that I wanted to bring up and mention to the board as well is there is a cost associated with the signage. I think JJ and I figured it out. There'd be about 205 signs between this ordinance and the next ordinance. And we priced it out. It would be right around $24,000 for the poles, the bases, and all of the signage as well. We discussed, and it could be taken out of the motor MFT,
The MFT fund up to a certain amount.
26,000, yeah.
Thank you, Chief. Any other comments? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. And the last one.
All right, moving on to the next parking restriction signage. In the April 12th Traffic Safety and Engineering Committee meeting, a discussion took place regarding the addition of no parking anytime signage on Brewster Lane between the Grange Road and the Plymouth Place Village property line, with a new grocer locating just north of the stretch of road. Staff felt it was imperative to place signage on that stretch of road restricting parking at all times. In addition, the committee discussed placing 30-minute timed parking restrictions from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the 300 blocks of Stone Avenue, Wyola Avenue, and Spring Avenue to allow for parents to drop children off at Ogden School in the morning, as well as permit parking on school days between the hours of 7 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. on the north side of Brewster Avenue between Spring and Kensington to accommodate the teachers from Ogden Avenue School. These three matters were discussed by the Traffic Safety and Engineering Committee at length, and the following recommendation was voted and agreed upon. 1, to add no parking anytime signage on the north and south side of Brewster Lane from the Grange Road east to the Plymouth Place Village property line. 2, to add 30-minute parking from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on school days except by permit on the 300 blocks of Stone, Wyola, and Spring Avenues. Add permit parking only from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on school days on the north side of Brewster between Spring Avenue and Kensington Avenue. Staff recommends the adoption of the attached ordinance adding to Title 7, Chapter 76 of the Village of LaGrange Park Municipal Code, providing for parking signs. I'd like to make a motion to approve an ordinance adding to Title 7, Chapter 76 of the Village of LaGrange Park Municipal Code, providing for parking signs.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second?
Motion and second, discussion, trustee Silva?
Again, this is just gonna make everything easier for everybody, and I would like to thank all the staff for all their hard work, along with the chief, for, figuring all this stuff out, and JJ as well, so thank you to everybody, and I fully support this.
Thank you, trustee Silva. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess I'm gonna direct this question back to Chief. Follow up that you said about the cost, the $24,000 cost of 200 some signs that we're about to get placed. Is that checking with just one vendor, 2, 3 vendors?
Trustee Sheehan, we have bids from quotes from 2 different vendors right now, waiting for a third to come back. So the current one is about 205 poles, would be about just under $20,000, and that would cover at 4 poles per block. At 6 poles per block, we're up to about $26,000 to $27,000 from our cheapest quote.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted clarification on that. Thank you, Mr. President. That's all I have.
Thank you, trustee Sheehan.
Just for clarification, Edgewood, Malden, Dover, and Park currently have 6 signs per block. So if we wanted to do the 6 signs and be the same as what's currently there, or if we wanted to downsize and do 4 per block.
Roughly like one on each corner and one in the middle?
About a third of the way down,
Yeah.
and then a third of the way down. So right now they're a third middle and then a third again. So there's a difference of about $6,000 if we wanted to be consistent with the rest of town.
Thank you.
I just
Trustee
had,
Zara?
oh, thank you. I just had one more question. So with the 26 or 24 or whatever the end amount, that includes the installation then, too, right?
The installation would be done by.
Oh, you guys would do it, so that's just providing the signs of all. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, trustee Silva. Okay, moving on, Public Works Committee, trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. Staff repaired 2 water main breaks and replaced 2 lead service lines with copper pipe for the month. 4 hydrant modification kits were also completed. A yard hydrant was installed at Public Works facility along with a new meter vault. A 4-inch Omni meter was installed and will capture all water used from the hydrant. This is a measure to help account for water loss and accountability for water conservation from staff and contractors. One small snow event occurred the month, which only required basic salting operations. Sinat Tree Company completed the cycle pruning program for the year, and our staff completed the in-house portion of trimming. Spring tree planting preparations have begun, selection of species and location. The primary planting area will be on the west side of town, and it should be taking place shortly. Pothole work was performed in all sections of the village and will continue next month. Matt DiCasola completed his CDL training this month, obtained his license. GIS work has continued collecting data on village-owned assets along with continued training throughout the village. Water meters were read in Section 3. 15 monthly bacterial water samples were taken. Various water and sewer work orders were completed along with resident tree concerns and general construction inquiries. Routine maintenance of the department's fleet and equipment was performed, as well as police and fire vehicles. Next, we have a presentation of the Isawa Water Ambassador. The purpose of this presentation will provide a brief update to the village board about the Isawa Water Ambassador Award received this March. General background, the Isawa Water Ambassador Program is an initiative created to elevate public perception, knowledge, and consumer education of the water industry. This program aims to accomplish these goals by presenting a new communication platform of educational and promotional content in a manner that is relevant, engaging, and consistent among participants. The requirements of this program consist of monthly topics shared to the public through social media, websites, videos, infographics, and newsletters. There are 3 levels of this award: bronze, silver, and gold, which vary to the amount of topics and time put into the program. We have earned the gold level award, meeting all the required standards, plus the elective portions. This will now be a yearly program Public Works will participate in to engage the public and teach them the value and importance of water. Therefore, Mr. President, first, congratulations to Public Works and staff for achieving this award. Water conservation through the Sustainability Commission and through all the residents, definitely a thing that we're very blessed to have Lake Michigan water, so we have to do everything we can to keep it safe and clean and drinkable. With that, I'll turn it over to Superintendent Jandik for the presentation.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. I'm going to start here just by handing out a couple booklets to all the trustees and village president. And these are just basic, brought to you by the Illinois Section A WWA. Oh, yeah. Mr. Caputo, too. Again, these are just basic general knowledge for elected officials about what we do in our water system, how we do water distribution, and just some helpful facts. So they're yours to keep. Enjoy the reading. So we'll talk a little bit about the Illinois Section AWWA Water Ambassador Award. The program goals are about consumer and resident education. We want to do everything that we can in Public Works and in the water industry to let everybody know everything there is to know about safe drinking water, what we do to create safe drinking water, and how to preserve water as well. Public perception is also something that can be misstrued with tap water compared to bottled water, and we want to teach them how tap water and the water we produce is far better for yourself, for your body, and a reliable resource that they should partake in. The mission of the water industry is obviously to provide safe drinking water to everybody, along with conservation of water. We're lucky to have Lake Michigan here, so we got to really be careful how much water we use, how much we waste, and really account for it, especially in areas of the country where water is very scarce. And keeping residents informed. Residents don't always know what's going on with their water, how it's produced, how it's distributed, all the things that we do at our pump station, how water gets to us, what we do to give them safe water every single day. There's different program requirements for this depending on how far you want to go with it. We ended up going for the gold level. It's the top award that you can reach. Part of it is informing elected officials, village president, along with giving them just all the tools that we use on a daily basis, along with projects, information, keeping them abreast of any situation that's happening with our distribution system. The value of water, why is it important? We drink it every day, we need it to survive, all the different uses for it. Industry understanding, which consists basically of what we just spoke about a little bit, the distribution of it, what our goals are, how we make water, how we keep it safe, and how we distribute it. And then industry-related events and celebrations, these are electives. This is the way we ended up getting the Gold Award, which celebrates different events, whether it's teaching everybody about the water cycle, National Public Work Week. My favorite is National Toilet Month. All things that you can't live without, but again, water makes them function. LaGrange Park's effort. This is what we did in order to reach this award. We use social media as our main focus. Everybody's on it. It's very easy to obtain. We did infographics, different pictures, different types of water conversation, different events. The village website, especially now with the new lead act that has passed, we've been doing a lot of lead research. We've put videos on the website along with Facebooks, along with e-briefs, keeping everybody informed what's going on, water main projects. Any opportunity we get with service calls, we've really been elevating it to a new level. It's not just, hey, what's your problem? How can we fix it? But let's teach you a little bit. If you've got questions, ask it. We're asking them. Any question you have, bring it to us. We have no problem having a conversation with you. And then staff knowledge has been great. We already have a very good understanding with multiple water operators, but bringing the new guys involved, teaching them a little bit about it, they've learned a great deal so they can pass that knowledge on to residents themselves. And making the most of out of opportunities. We had a fire alarm go off at our pump station. Fire department came, investigated it, everything was okay, it was just faulty, but while the paramedics and some firemen were there, they were asking questions about the pump station, so we gave them a full tour of our plant, told them how water comes into our system, how it goes out of the system. So again, this is just an opportunity where if somebody wants to listen, we're gonna talk. So Public Works is gonna continue this program for the next year, more years, hopefully, until there's an ending to it. But this is just a great program where we can take advantages of every situation, really get one-on-one with the people, ask them or answer any of the questions they do have, and it opens up doors for not even water events, but for sewer, trees. It's really just a great public outreach program that's gonna just dial up the whole work for our industry. So thank you. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them.
Trustee Wagner?
I don't really have any questions, just a couple of points. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago that we had a water seminar out here that I thought was very well done. It talked about how the different valves worked, and so I thought that was very good. But even a more recent example that wasn't mentioned here, but this month's water bill, sewer bill has an addition to it that talks about the background behind the price increase that's coming for the water, where the costs come from, how those funds are going to be used. And so I thought it did a very good job of explaining that further, and everyone's water bill that everyone in the village gets, I thought was another excellent education tool for explaining. I mean, I put it aside just in anticipation of questions that are going to start coming our way when the water bill does have to go up, and that's something that I know that we all are, don't like to see, but they have to do it to proceed with the lead pipe replacements and the main replacements, et cetera. But I thought that was an excellent piece that was put together as well. So thanks for the efforts.
Well, thank you, and to the village staff who was involved with that. But again, even with the higher, with the water rate increase, it's gonna open the door for more talks about conserving water and doing better, in our own homes for residents. Not so they can only save money, but also our precious resources.
Any other comments? JJ, I just want to congratulate you on behalf of the board, you and the staff and Public Works for this great award and the work that you did to get there. So wonderful.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks for putting us on the map even more.
Right, we were one of 12 communities this year to get the award. This is the second year the program's been started. The first year there was only, I think, 6 to 8 communities involved. So
Great job.
in the next upcoming months, I don't have an exact date yet, but members of the ISAWWA would like to come here for a board meeting or a work session possibly, and just take a picture with the board to celebrate the award.
Absolutely. And the toilet committee too.
Absolutely, and here is the
Nothing
sign
gets flushed away. Go ahead.
that will most likely be hung up in our Public Works conference room. So
nice.
I'll leave it over here if anybody wants to take a look at it afterwards. So
Again, thank you,
Yes.
JJ. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, JJ.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Sheehan, for your report. Moving on to Finance Committee, Trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening, in addition to my report, I have 3 items for discussion and action. But first of all, the monthly report. And this report summarizes the village's general fund financial performance through March of 2023. We've completed now 11 months of fiscal year 2023, which began last May 1st and concludes on April 30th of 2023. This detailed revenue and expense reports were included in our packet that I trust everyone's had an opportunity to review. To break it down a little bit, the general fund revenue is at 99.2% of the annual budget, which was $10,575,350, and we are at $10,488,898. To date, the village has collected approximately $2.6 million in property tax revenues versus a budget of $3.8 million. By comparison, the village received $3.8 million in property tax revenues as of February 2022, last fiscal year. The majority of the property tax revenue we received was in the months of December and January. The lag in property tax revenue, again to remind you, is due to the county's delay in issuing the second installment of property tax bills. The county eventually issued the tax bills in December, which were due in December 30th of 2022. Our utility taxes are higher by $54,609 or 10%, and that's due primarily to an increase in natural gas tax receipts as prices have increased that we can all acknowledge. Despite the challenging economy, state sales tax revenues are up $29,021 year over year at $889,446. State income tax revenues have increased $252,000 or 14.5% to $1.9 million. And the personal property tax, or personal property replacement tax revenue is at $49,823, higher than last year. Permit receipts are up almost $469,000 compared to the prior year, primarily due to an increase in new construction permits. Charges for services are higher by about $106,000 or 13%, and that's mainly due to increased ambulance fee receipts. Fines are down about $36,817 or 30%, and a big portion of this is due to a decrease in parking and compliance ticket collections. 92% through the fiscal year, total general fund revenues, expenditures, and transfers are $9.496,249, which is approximately 88% of the total budget expenditures and transfers of $10,772,315. And most importantly, expenditures for all departments are within expectations, 92% through the fiscal year. And that concludes the report from the finance area. And some items for discussion and potential action. First of all is regarding the audit services proposal for fiscal years 2023 through 2025. Village is required by state law to have an annual audit completed by a certified public accounting firm. Staff prepared a request for proposal for auditing services, which was sent out to potential firms on March 1, 2023. 2 firms responded to this RFP. The Finance Committee met on April 11th of 2023 to review the proposals and provide a recommendation to the Village Board. At the Finance Committee meeting, staff recommended the Village select Sikich LLP to provide auditing services for fiscal years 2023 through 2025. And this recommendation is based upon the quality of Sikich's proposal. Sikich is a top-ranked national firm with extensive local government experience. And 3, Sikich's proposed fees are the lowest of the responding firms. Following the discussion of the Finance Committee, they concurred with staff's recommendation of Sickage LLP. Certainly, staff recommends to the village board that we accept this proposal from Sickage LLP to provide auditing services for the fiscal years 2023 through 2025. So, Mr. President and Board, I would like to submit a motion to accept a proposal from Sickage LLP to provide auditing services for fiscal years 2023 through 2025.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion, trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. In my absence, I want to first of all express appreciation to the Finance Committee of moving things forward with this item. I have subsequently had an opportunity to review the discussion notes and recommendation, and certainly concur that, and I know their reputation in the industry, so I would heartily support this.
Any other comments from any trustees? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay, and the second item will be coming up. Regarding fiscal year 2022-23 budget amendments. And the background on this is that village policy requires that the village board amend the annual budget if the total expenditures for a department or fund will exceed the approved budget. State statute authorizes the village board to revise the budget by, by 2/3 vote. The following amendments are proposed for the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget. The General Fund Administration Department budget requires an amendment of $115,000 due to invoices from GovTemps USA, and that was for the interim finance director services that we received, as well as an increase in zoning for planning and zoning commission cases. The second amendment is from the General Fund Building Department budget, which requires an amendment of $261,000 due to the increased plan reviews during the fiscal year and costs associated with the interim building official services provided by GovTemps USA. The third amendment is to the General Fund Fire Department budget, which requires an amendment of $35,390 due to higher fuel costs and an increase in part-time wages due to a greater number of hours worked by the department. And the fourth amendment is to the General Fund Public Works Department budget, which requires an amendment of $16,000 due to higher fuel costs. Staff has reviewed all of this, of course, to come to these recommendations, and we've actually had prior discussion on this, so I'd like to submit a motion to approve a resolution amending the budget for fiscal year 2022-23 for the village of LaGrange Park.
Motion to have a second.
Second.
Discussion, trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, as mentioned, these have been discussed. No one likes to have these, I'll say, surprises, a little overstated, but they are understandable, and by state statute, her requirements, and as such, would move forward with supporting this.
Thank you, trustee Lautner. Any other comments from any trustees? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
And the third and last item for the finance area this evening is regarding the fiscal year 23-24 budget and 5-year plan. And purpose of this discussion is to provide an overview of the Finance Committee's review and recommendations to the village board for the fiscal year 23-24 budget and the 5-year plan. And just a little bit of background. The Finance Committee met on March 14th, March 20th, and on April the 11th to review the draft budget and 5-year plan. And there's a list of various recommended changes that have been made as a result of those discussions. I don't know that it's necessary to go through the detail. These are all items in reviewing this that that were discussed through the various meetings and were applied and confirmed to be applied to the budgets. But these changes are reflected in the most recent draft that's dated March 30th, which we've all received. The last recommendation was made on April 11th to increase the budget amount for accounting services from $35,000 to $80,000. That item was discussed as well, with an understanding of what potential options would be for that, with an understanding of why that needed to be added. And so with the new budgeted amount as follows: general fund administration is at $62,400. The water fund would receive $9,600 of that, and the sewer fund would receive $8,000. And the 5-year plan has also been updated as well as part of that process. There also is a new budget item that just came to our attention this last week, and that is after the last Finance Committee's meeting. That was after April 11th, and what's occurred is one of the HVAC system compressors on the rooftop of this building has failed, and as such, the quote to replace it, the compressor is a little over $10,300. So as such, staff has recommended that we add an additional amount of $10,500 to the building maintenance sections of the budget. And so as such, it would be general fund administration would be increased to $2,050. The general fund for the building would be increased to $2,625. The general fund for police would be increased by $2,625. The general fund fire, same amount, $2,625. Water fund would hit $315, and the sewer fund would receive an increase of $260. So that was after the April 11th meeting, so I wanted to make sure everyone was clear of the understanding of that. But as such, as a conclusion of all the extensive efforts by staff, by all the departments, and the Finance Committee, which again I express appreciation in some of those meetings in my absence to bring it forward. I'd like to first of all submit a motion to approve a resolution approving fiscal year 23-24 operating budget.
Second.
A motion, a second, discussion. Trustee Lauder?
Thank you, Mr. President. A lot of effort has gone into this. I feel confident it's the best budget ever in terms of thoroughness of the explanations and the narratives. And it's just not lost on I know myself and the rest of the board, the amount of work that it goes in to make this the important operating tool that it is. So again, expressing appreciation for everyone's efforts. So I wholeheartedly will support this.
Thank you, Trustee Lauder. Any comments from the board? Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
And I have a second motion regarding the 5-year plan. I'd like to submit a motion to approve the 5-year plan for fiscal year 23-24 through 27-28.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, discussion.
Mr. President, I have nothing to add.
Any other comments from the board? I think Austin made it through his first budget. Good job, Austin. Huh?
Oh, yeah. They still have to vote.
Okay. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart? Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
And that concludes the report from the finance area, including the items for discussion and motion and action this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Lauder, and thank you to the Finance Committee and the staff for the hard work they put into this
Thank you.
budget.
Thank you.
Okay, other reports. Our village clerk,
I have no report this evening, Mr. President.
our village treasurer, our village engineer, our village attorney.
I have no report, Mr. President.
I'll rely on Trustee Stewart here. Commercial Revitalization Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Streetscape Improvement Plan on Monday, April 3rd. State Rep. LaShawn Ford met with Illinois Transportation Secretary Omar Osman and other key personnel from the IDOT to discuss transportation matters in the 8th District. Representative Ford, Secretary Osman, and IDOT staff visited Grange Park and toured the Village Market and Memorial Park area with village officials and staff. The village demonstrated its concerns regarding the speed of traffic and the lack of pedestrian links along the Grange Road. Staff provided a copy of the recently completed Village Market Streetscape Improvement Plan, and IDOT committed to reviewing the plan in detail in an effort to more carefully consider options to address the village's concerns. Run for the Roses. The LaGrange Park Chamber of Commerce is hosting a Run for the Roses, a 5K race for runners and walkers on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 14th at 8 a.m. Half of proceeds will benefit Interfaith Community Partners, a local non-for-profit organization that works with volunteers to provide accompanied transportation for older adults to appointments and errands. Register online and encourage your family and friends or co-workers to join you for this great event. CRC Committee, the next meeting will take place on Tuesday, May 9th at 6 o'clock p.m. at Village Hall. Businesses and members of the public are invited to attend and provide input on how the village can best support new and existing businesses and enhance the commercial areas of LaGrange Park. And I have a memo for a motion for the resolution in support of the tax increment financing. General background in anticipation of potential legislative proposals at the state level that may be harmful to or reduce the effectiveness of the TIF districts. The Illinois Municipal League has asked that municipalities adopt resolutions to indicate local support for the needed public improvement projects and developments that TIF districts encourage, fund, and incentivize. The LaGrange Park established 2 TIF districts in 2017. The village has used TIF to complete much-needed public improvement projects and to incentivize private development in the Village Hall and 31st Street business corridors. TIF has also been a resource for planning studies and will help fund future infrastructure and streetscape improvements that support thriving commercial areas and enhance quality of life for residents. Staff recommends that the village approve the resolution in support of the TIF. So I have a motion to approve a resolution of the Village of LaGrange Park in support of the TIF financing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Trustee Stewart?
None really. This is kind of how we've been. Oh, everything else?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yes, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I think this is all part of the whole plan, to have this financing to continue to support and do great things for the village as we've been doing. So I feel it's work.
Thank you, Trustee Stewart. Any other comments from the board? Trustee Glautner?
Right. Thank you, Mr. President. I just think that this has been an extremely beneficial and helpful tool to us. I mean, we've directly seen the impact and, positive impact of attracting, business growth, business development. So I know it's pretty straightforward, but it's been a real boon for us, I think.
Yeah. Okay, seeing no other comments, we can call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Trustee Stewart.
Thank you.
Did you have a couple comments, Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to comment about the streetscape improvement plan. The meeting on April 3rd, Village Manager Cedillo and I went down to Representative Ford's office. It was very informative, meeting with the Secretary of IDOT, Omar Osman. And then when we followed up last week in Springfield at his office, Representative Ford, as always, and Secretary Osman, they know we're not going away. And they were very, they were very attentive to us again, even last week. So I definitely get the feeling that they're trying, and hopefully we get some good news. But was that the feeling you got in the last meeting too?
I did.
Yeah, and Trustee Zara was there too. So let's just hope it's good news moving forward. But they know where LaGrange Park's at on the map. So that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan, and thank you, Trustee Stewart. Okay, moving on to my report. I just want to thank staff and chief and our trustee here, Trustee Zor, for this beautiful boardroom and the beautiful Village Hall.
It's beautiful. It really looks great. Mr. Ullman wanted one of the pews, but IML, we went down to the IML conference. I hope everybody gets the opportunity to come next year because we bonded. We had a great time. It was great being with Trustee Zora and Trustee Sheehan and Julia down there and walking around and meeting. We met with Representative Welch, Speaker Welch, Representative Ford, Representative Rashid, IDOT. We got to sit with the village of Addison and village of North Riverside. Got to hear all about what may happen this weekend with kids and everything. But it was great because we got to meet other trustees and other village presidents and got to break some bread with them. And it's just a wonderful conference. As far as the conference itself, Julie and I had a board meeting on Thursday. The IML came out with a, I don't want to say it wrong, inclusivity pledge, or what is it? Inclusivity pledge.
Civility pledge.
Civility pledge.
It's a new program.
It's a new program. It looks great. We're going to institute it soon as we get our ducks in order. And you know, we went down to the West Central a couple years ago, and we've gone down to the IML, and by far the IML puts on a great program. It really caters to all the attendees. So hopefully everybody else will go next year, and we can all bond together and, you know, stay up late and drink, eat potato chips and drink Coke. Listen to the walls. But it was a great experience. And, you know, I think that the biggest experience is getting away and just being with your fellow colleagues in a relaxing environment and breaking bread. It was really nice. So thank you, Trustee Zora. Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Thank you, Julia.
For the opportunity.
Okay, I have an action item, discussion action item. Trustee Wagner, would you care? I can read if you would do the motion. Okay, so I have some recommendations for reappointments to various village committee commissions. At the close of a term, committee commission seats expire on the 1st of May or until a successor is appointed and qualified. On the Board of Police Commissioners, members of the Board of Police Commissioners serve for 3-year terms and are appointed by the President with the advice and consent of the Board of Trustees. The term of Commissioner Lavelle Tops is expiring. I recommend that we reappoint Mr. Tops for a 3-year term ending in May 1st, 2026. Police Pension Board. The Police Pension Board of Trustees is composed of the following individuals who served 2-year terms, 2 members who are participants in the fund, 1 member who is an annuitant of the fund, and 2 at-large members appointed by the village president with the advice and consent of the village board of trustees. The term of Trustee O'Hay is expiring. I recommend the reappointment of Christopher O'Hay for a 2-year term ending May 1st, 2025.
As such, I would like to make a motion to reappoint Lavelle Tops to a new 3-year term expiring in 2026.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes?
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
And for the Police Pension Board, I'd like to submit a motion to reappoint Christopher O'Hay to a new 2-year term expiring in 2025.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes?
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Next item, I have 3 proclamations. We'll start with Arbor Day 2023, whereas in 1872, Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, whereas a holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, whereas trees in LaGrange Park increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community, and whereas the Village of LaGrange Park has designated a Tree City USA for 35 years by the National Arbor Day Foundation, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Village of LaGrange Park proclaims Friday, April 28, 2023 as Arbor Day. The Village of LaGrange Park encourages all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. Next, it's Building 2023 Safety Month. It starts with you. Whereas the Village of LaGrange Park is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and essential role our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play, both in everyday life and when disasters strike. Whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. Whereas these guardians are dedicated to experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes to protect us in the buildings where we live, learn, work, and play. Whereas it starts with you, the theme for Building Safety Month 2023 encourages us all to raise awareness about building safety on a personal, local, and global scale. Therefore, be it proclaimed the Village of LaGrange Park proclaims May 2023 as Building Safety Month. And now probably the most important one of the night, the 54th Annual Professional Municipal Clerk Week. It's all about you, Megan. April 30th to May 6th, 2023. Whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. Whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants. Whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk provides a professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at all levels. Whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas PMC, I'm going to say, I guess, continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Therefore, I proclaim the Village of LaGrange Park recognize the week of April 30th through May 6th as Professional Municipal Clerks Week. Further extend our appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Megan, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. And I just want to say that we have one of the best clerks in the country. Megan does a great job for us, and we're so blessed to have her here and on my left side. Thank you, Megan. Okay, with that, we move on to public participation. I have one more. Oh, we got to go back? Okay, we're going to go back to all those for the committee and collectors reports as presented. So moved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
See how good she is? See that? I tried to blow right past it. Okay, next up we have public participation. Seeing none, any new business? Seeing none, motion to move into executive session.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to move into closed session for the purpose of discussing the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body in accordance with 5 ILCS 120/2C1, not to return to regular session until the next regular scheduled meeting on May 9th, 2023 in this building.
Got a motion and a second. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. We'll move into executive session. We'll go down here. Mr. Roman, thank you for coming tonight to our meeting. And Hank, thank you.
Thanks, Hank.
And future trustee, Mr. Caputo, thank you. Everyone have a great week.